Hey everybody, and welcome back. Right, well, I got bored to tears, so I've come out in the workshop for a little bit. First of all, let me thank you very much, really, to all the people, comments, emails, even telephone calls from all over the place, from Australia, from Prague, anyway, really, I greatly appreciate all the good wishes and all the exhortations to get well. So I think it's really made my idea that I didn't, I don't do how-to videos. All I've ever wanted to do is let people be with me in the workshop while I'm enjoying myself on my little projects, as is often pointed out, warts and all. I'm self-taught, so it's just, hey, thought this might be interesting. Well, actually, Steam Shop thought it might interest people. So I really seem to have got a nice group of people, several thousand nice people who just go along with me. And yeah, the good wishes were quite moving. Thank you. So the main thing you told me though was, never mind the videos, just make sure you get well. So don't worry about me being out here. I'm really feeling very well. In fact, I was out walking around the sections today, not overdoing it, but exercising every day. If it's wet, Linda has a treadmill, so I get on that and walk for 45 minutes or so. So everything's coming along really well. All right, now then, what else? Linda's idea to mention the cub was very good, because I've had lots of things from people who know people with a cub, or where there might be a cub or a cub engine or whatever. So I appear to have feelers out all over for that, even to the point where one of my viewers in Michigan sent me a cub rear hub. He had the wheel, but we backwards and forwards on email, and I said all I really wanted was the hub, because I would, lash out the money again and get an alloy rim for it. So funnily enough, it's been repaired round there where the other one had. But those of you who've watched, and on this one, which has a hub rear, a cub hub, and the sort of modern Enfield has a cub hub, both of them, all of these mounting bosses were smashed off and I had to repair them. Every one on here is perfect. In fact, it's even got the bolts. So thank you very much for that. That is a great start. All right, so what else have I got to say? Oh yeah, nearly forgot. Just to show you that I've been taking it easy, sitting there reading or looking out the window. This is what was out the window a couple of days ago. So you see, it's all very bucolic, just makes me sit there at ease. Anyway, let's get back on with this. As good luck has it, I only have really the tank to do, so I'm not humping the engine in or out or anything for a while yet. So let me show you. I've already cut the cardboard template for this. I've done that just before I had my little episode, shall we say. So let's look at this and get on, because I don't think I can think of anything else. No, that's it. But really, thanks again for all the comments. All right then. Let's see what we can do in my hour or so in the workshop today. Okay. Made a template, as I say, just for the base anyway. You'll notice that this one I made slimmer at the front. The other two tanks I've made were both came out here more. So that's going to go on there like thusly. Now then, there's a couple of things to think of here still. I've put some cutouts for there. Actually, I don't even need a cutout on this side for that. Do you know that? That's high enough up. No, I don't need a cutout on the right hand side. I wonder why I put that in. It's going to go about that high. Yeah, definitely don't need a cutout on that side. I don't need as big a cutout there. Don't forget there's a head steady that goes from there to there. Yeah. I think I'll leave the cutouts until I've actually cut the alloy and maybe made the tunnel. Now, I have a couple more concerns, right? One is how do I mount it at the front? Now when this was fatter, I had more space to put these rubber things in. You remember, this is a bit difficult here. Right. You remember I drill this and I have bobbins, threaded bobbins, so that comes up through there. That screws into the bottom of the tank, and then they're threaded in the bottom. We have a mounting here that we put a bolt in. So because I've made this so slim there, I was thinking that the mounting was going to have to come a long way back. But I think what I'll do is I'll make the mounting come out, there'll be a piece here and then just a straight across mounting. So I wasn't sure whether to do it that way with these or whether to make the tunnel come up here and rubber mounted there, but with the holes in that was going to be difficult. So that's sorted that out. Now the other thing is this back end, because with this carb top being right there instead of sort of in towards the centre line, I can't get a tap, a petrol tap on this side. So it's only going to have one petrol tap. So I want the fuel to be able to flow. I wanted these two halves to be connected. Doesn't have to be by much, obviously. So I've got this shaped, as you can see, like that. Now I'm not going to cut a piece of alloy this shape. That would be a bit wasteful. I'm going to cut it in two halves, and as I say, I'm not going to cut them out now, I've decided. And then we'll either put a piece in or see exactly how we're going to do this. Going to have it about there. I think I'm going to make a thicker rear saddle, because before I've wanted it to be about 1 inch and I've had him use inch form, but of course because he's a real upholsterer and it all gets pulled in nice and tight and everything, I noticed particularly with the last one it really squished down. So I think I'm going to get him to use 2 inch form, and that will bring it down to about 1.5 inches, which is about there. So if this tank comes up here, I don't need to go right out as much as that. So don't even actually have much space on this side to put the petrol tap on. It'll be forward a bit. Alright, let me pull out a sheet. I've got a sheet of 3003 alloy, which is easier to work than the 6061 I normally use, and the bottom is thicker than the bottom, and the actual tunnel are, I think I got 80 thou or 85 thou, whatever it was, and the top is just ordinary 16th, 63 thou. I get the thicker because, as I say, we make mountings at the front, we put petrol taps in at the back and everything. So let's get some alloy sheets sorted and cut out. This was proving really difficult to visualise, actually. I've been sitting there looking at this for a long time. So as I say, I still haven't got any big sheets of cardboard, so I managed to find a couple of reasonable size boxes, the old dog biscuit boxes, which is bendable. So I've got this sitting on a piece of foam, and that's the curve. I don't think it still dips in a little bit, which always makes for things, but then actually I can do it there and leave a bit sticking out. That's fine. So I decided, as I say, that this was going to be so difficult that really I needed to make a template for the top piece and be sure how this is going. So I'm going to have to make it in sections and then tape it all together. And of course the actual fold of the box was right where I didn't want it to be, so I put some tape on to sort of stiffen that up. But I reckon I can make that okay. Hang on. Ow! Just me bumping into a chair, don't worry. Hold on. So actually making it in bits is going to be helpful because it's going to come back to here. Then I'm going to make the actual tunnel. I'll cut it, fold it, so that it comes out like that, and then I can just make that like that. And I think we'll be all right. But that actually is, see, that's a little bit higher than I want it to be. To keep it level. Oh no, that'll be good. So that plus a phone call I had has used up the couple of hours I wanted to be out here. So I'm going to knock off for the day and just put this video together piecemeal. Alright, so probably coming tomorrow for a bit as well. Right, well, it's another day. Put another couple of pieces of cardboard in. Got foam here, foam there, so that's about how it will sit. I don't need to cut out either side unless I lower this. I'm not so sure. No, I don't think I want to lower it. But this end is going to be different because as you see, now with it being up and everything, it's got a curve in here. So it doesn't need to be as long. Got to redo that, and then I would do that end. But I was stood standing here looking at that, and I had a thought. So I went off and got this. That is the book for the tank on the Enfield. And it's the right length. This hatch, well no, maybe that isn't once it's in. That's basically it, you know. I could use that book. I think this isn't as deep as the Enfield because look, there's more space here for my filler cap. That will save me days because it took me a while to make that book. That book looks as if it might work for lots of things because this is pretty standard length. I mean, this is a 52-inch wheelbase and, you know, 15-inch swinging arm. This is how much I'm going to have virtually on, there it is, on every bike. Sort of headstock to there, 24 inches. Hang on a minute. Yeah, well, obviously it's the same length on the Enfield, but the standard Enfield and Jensen's BSA, they're 20 inches. I might even slim. This is a little wider here than there, but I can squeeze that in. I think I'm going to use that to make the top skin. That will, I'll do the bottom with that. I'll get the bottom of this book the way I like it. That, as I say, needs to see just the natural springiness of the cardboard. I'm going to tape that up so it's the right width, both ends. I'll put a clamp on or something. Mark that. I'm going to make that tank. I think it'll be fine. Okay. Right. Put a couple of blocks on here to hold that so it doesn't go out like that. And I've got this now to match both sides. The book I'm going to use. Now I'm wondering whether I should add a 1/2 inch to sort of lower the bottom or not. I'll have another look at that. But what I have realised is if I don't have cutouts, so I don't have to make little boxes and things, I can do this in one piece. I think that's how I did the Triumph one. We'll mark that, mark it on that side, mark a centre line, and then when we've annealed it, I'll fold this over to right angles to that, fold that over to right angles, and then we'll form that to make the tunnel. And that'll save us a mass of welding, and then we can get on with doing the front mounts and the tap at the back. Alright, so I'm going to cut a couple of 1/2 inch strips of cardboard, if I've got some. Cut these bits of tape, I think 1/2 inch. I'm going to go and look at it again, but that might do for that. Now I decided I didn't want to make this any bigger, so I've marked it out, and then along here of course I want to mark out another 1/4 inch, which is the edge I'm going to fold over for when the skin goes on. So you maybe already know this, but if you want to make a sort of parallel mark all the way around something that's not straight, find something like this washer, which is the distance you want it to be, and then you put that in there like that, and you just roll it along the edge, and it gives you your gap, or your outside line. Okay, so let me cut this out on the bandsaw. Oh, hang on, let me make a few other marks on here. And then I know where to mark my lines for the bends. And I'll score them so that when I anneal this, they won't get burnt off. Alright, this is my last little trip out to the workshop this week. I want to get this bent up and ready. Alright, so as I say, it's all cut out. I've got marks scribed. I know the light's reflecting off it. But what we're going to do is anneal it. Now because it's such a big sheet and because it's thicker, I'm not going to use the felt tip pen. We're going to use the older system of carboning it up and then heating it up till that all burns off with oxyacetylene. One of the things you've got to remember if you use oxyacetylene is it is very hot. It's not like a propane torch, it's not even like a MAP torch. So don't, you know, with propane you can really sort of do this. You do that with oxyacetylene, and particularly when you get the edge, it's going to melt. So I'll show you this, just press, oh. So we just use flame like that, no oxygen on it. I've got the rosebud thing on. And there's the carbon on it. As I say, don't hold it on one area for too long or it will melt. Just keep doing this until you see it start to disappear, then I'll turn you off. Now, let me do one little bit just so you see how this burns up. Yeah, it's starting to disappear. I hope you can see down that end. And I'm going to switch you off now. Right, well, it's cooled down after being They're clamped down nice and tightly. I've got my earplugs in, so you get ready for some hammering. Here we go. We'll flatten that edge out on the flat surface. So let me do the other side. As you can see, actually it bent nice and easily. So there it is with the side bent up. Now all we're going to do is, using this centre line, form it over a piece of 2 inch or slightly, I think it's 2 1/4 inch tube. And then they, of course, will, as they go down, they'll be that way, and we'll have our tunnel. So let's get a piece of tube. I was just thinking, do you remember when we did the last one of these? Even though this was annealed, it did not want to bend. Put some gloves on. Alright, we'll try again. See, remember I can batter this into the vise from the top. God. It's bending, but it will bend easier than that. Bending on a line either, I wobbled off it. Yeah, this is going to have to go in a thing, that on top, bang it in. Let me organise something. So here we go. I should patent this. Let me move this. That is going to go in there like that. And hopefully, I've thought about it getting narrower at the end. Right. Here we go. Where's my big hammer? There it is. Let's put that so there's a fair bit sticking out of each end. I've rounded off the edges of this wood. Good God. I think this will need annealing again. I don't see why it should. We didn't hammer on it here. I guess what we need really is sort of two of these, one a bit further apart. It's a pity I can't fit it in the press. I wonder if I've got a clamp that will go on that. A big enough clamp. I don't think that'll reach far enough. Oh, no, the deep ones are too. The deep throated ones are too shallow. Whoa. Whoa. Thinking required. I've got a couple of huge pullers that Steam Shop conned me into buying at an auction one time. He's the only one that's used them. I'm wondering if I can rig them up so that when I screw the thing down, instead of it, you know, as it pulls the legs, because the legs won't move, we'll push that down. I'll look into that, but that's all the time I've got this week. Afraid you're going to have to get used to these slightly spotty videos. But anyway, at least I'm out making videos. That's something, isn't it? So until next week, stay safe and enjoy yourselves.